Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Quick look at Solana, seeing what's going on. Absolutely on track for some really cool things here. Granted, it's not power pumping like some altcoins are, like SUI is a beast. I'll cover that here next. But the truth is, it's maintaining above its support. It's performing better than Bitcoin in a lot of ways, more consistent. And that's generally a good sign. So again, when you look at the comparison between the two coins, it's a pretty good little 2-to-1 ratio, so to speak. So I do think that we'll be able to hit our profit target here in the upper 230s. We did take a long at 226. We caught that little wick down to that 0.5 fib level. And as I mentioned yesterday, that's a good area of interest there between 220 and 225. So when we take a look here at the backend data, let's go ahead and double check this first and see where liquidation levels are forming. We may need to zoom into the smaller time frames because if I recall correctly, outside of that 235, there might be some other. You know what? Actually, this is pretty clear actually. And again, to clarify, 250 is the heaviest concentration of liquidation. We got a lot there. But between now and then, there's a lot of folks shorting, and I don't know why, shorting 235 to 236. Now, maybe they see something that I don't, but that's not really a resistance range that I'm aware of. So I think that level is going to get hit here pretty soon. Again, a lot of it hinges on Bitcoin kind of closing above 1015. That's an important level for Bitcoin too. So I'll show you that on the charts here in a minute, but the truth is liquidation delta is higher for longs versus shorts. So it really just tells us that you have there's a lot more buying pressure right now. So you don't want to short into something like that. The only time you short into that kind of volume is if it's been, maintaining itself for 2, 3, 4 days in a row. We're barely into this little bullish trend, and we got to give it a chance to continue. That's really what it boils down to. And that kind of speaks to the whole follow the trend, or the trend is your friend, that whole thing there. Because honestly, like right now, while you might find some people probably posting online about how great they are, they caught a 100x short at 234 to 230 on Solana or something. That's really not the way you do it. Trading against the grain is just going to result in less successful trades and just generally just an unhappy demeanor because you're going to be mad that you keep losing money. I don't know. Some people like to beat their head against the wall in order to figure things out. I like to do it once and not do it again, but everyone else has different strategies, right? So again, no matter how you are as a trader, less is more. And in this case right now, the grain is bullish or going up. So don't go against that until there's a definitive shift in momentum. Okay. At this point though, 230 is the open interest and 226. Those are kind of those two heavier areas people have invested locally, and obviously 215 or 213 rather from before. So at this point here, how much higher is it going to go? Well, we're traveling into our 0.618 fib level. This is like a common area of resistance. So far, I haven't seen a ton of resistance yet, and volume is generally low, but the average is going to be skewed based on the simple fact that we have such significant selling pressure here. So I don't really trust that in that regard. We'll talk about money flow index and how relevant that will be. But for right now, let's focus on the daily and work our way up. And let's clarify, we are coming into a resistance range. So maybe this does warrant the reason why people are trying to short right now at 235. Because again, 236 is that local point of control. In fact, let's zoom out a little bit, get a little more specific. It's more like 237, but 236, 237, there's some resistance above us, right? We got the 20-day SMA as well. That's proven to be somewhat of a trendsetter to the downside. So we spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Basically 14 days, roughly 2 weeks of trading under the 20-day SMA. That's generally unfavorable, but we're still above the 50 rather, and that's super important. So the 50 is a big deal. The 20 is kind of just like be careful taking longs in the blind. That's kind of what it tells us, right? So the whole point of me telling you that is just that we're not out of the clear yet. So I would say a solid closure at just say 240, 242 or higher would put us in a better position, right? We can also kind of see here too, there's like this obvious level here, right? That people are, that the price action just is unwilling to pass. It's like that 238 level. So again, getting above 238 would be huge. I'm looking for a 240 or higher to give green lights on a long position. Even though we have a long, don't get me wrong, that sounds kind of contradictory. There's a lot of smaller time frame indications that tell us that we're in good shape too. So the hourly and 4 hour yesterday were looking great. Right now, I'm sure they're probably still looking pretty good. And the overall sense is that once the daily shifts to that, then we're going to be in much better shape, and we can kind of open the trades a little bit more loosely, if you will, and maybe have higher profit targets. We're above 50 on the hour side here, super good. Stochastic swinging up again. These are all very, very positive signs, okay? So daily time frame honestly looks pretty solid. It's mostly good. 4-hour, same thing here. Back up over 50 in the RSI. That's why we took our trade yesterday, because we confirmed above that level. Stochastic swinging up. We can see money flow index is increasing. Obviously, that's going to increase based on the fact that we're starting to exclude some of these previous candles, because you got to keep in mind MFI is a 14-day lag, so it's the same with RSI, or in this case, 14 candles, because we're on the 4-hour time frame. So try to remember that. If you're on a 4-hour time frame, it's 14 candles, not 14 days. So that's basically somewhere in the range of 2.5 trading days. So we've been more so bullish in the last 2.5 trading days than the previous, therefore it's showing positive momentum. So that's a good sign. Kind of lets us know that even though volume is generally low, we're seeing more money flowing in now than we did, the last 2 weeks, or sorry, the last 2.5 trading days prior to that. Having said that, the hourly time frame should be a good confirming factor here for us, which it is. We're still above the cloud, lagging spans free and clear, conversion lines over the baseline. So we're really in a very positive movement here. Now you could argue that this is like a type of breakdown pattern, that this does tend to work its way down sometimes once it hits the resistance. So if that does happen, just say that comes to pass, the price action is more likely to bounce off this 225 level if it comes back to retrace than it would be to go much further down. So again, there's tons of support between 220 and 225. So I wouldn't be super concerned if the price does end up pulling back and we get some sort of retracement. In fact, you look here, Bitcoin is on its way down, and Solana is still kind of on its way up, retesting its local high here. So me personally, I think Solana is going to break out here soon. It does have this, it has the consistency of a breakout. Now, will it explode? It's hard to say, but I personally feel like we're more likely to see further upside than downside. Maybe not at the exact moment. We may see a slight retracement first, but the general consensus here is that we're going up. Okay, well, that's kind of what we're looking at. So I'll draw out a new playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, Discord. I'll post that, of course, if you're not familiar. Looks a little something like this if you want to know. Bitcoin is printing a nice cup and handle pattern, by the way, too, which is really nice. And there's a ton of liquidation at like 103 to 104. So I do think we're going to see at least one more leg up from Bitcoin. And if that happens, Solana should probably do a little power push to 238 to 240. That would make sense. Closing above that would be optimal, but it's still a little too early to tell. But I got good hopes for this guy here, or gal, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, thanks again so much for your support too. You've been watching for a while. Deeply appreciate you. Don't forget to comment below, like the video. Maybe do that every single video, at least the like button. That